And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. My name is Bert Wojcik. Alongside me is Adam Ruber. Our executive producer Chris Graham is joining us in the studios here. And boys, I tell you what, we had another great weekend of racing. And Matt, it got a little cold Friday night, and we still got some racing in. And Saturday, oh, what a day Saturday was! Absolutely beautiful, perfect spring light day. And I tell you what, it was you can't get better of a weekend than that. A lot of great racing almost everywhere we went, Adam.
Yeah, for sure. I had a really good time at Lincoln Sunday, not Sunday, Saturday. I thought that was a really good show. Same with Friday. I thought the girl was good and juiced up, and we'll get into that here in a couple minutes with none other than Justin Peck. But I forgot my hoodie on Friday.
Oh no!
Forgot a hoodie. Yep.
Okay.
I was miserable. Good portion of the night until I finally took a stroll over to see none other than the Moody van, because apparently they're the only ones that were the only ones that were A, open, and B, took a credit card, because I had like $6 cash on me, and that's not exactly going to get you far these days. But
true. I mean, in this
best
day and age, you got to
$35
keep
I
a
ever
couple
spent.
bucks on you at least.
Yeah,
very
$6,
and that is good quality
that's
stuff. That is BC creative stuff. Zach Barber.
It is. It's super comfy.
That stuff later. It is. It truly is. Well, anyway, folks, while we're on the topic of Williams Grove Speedway, he's joining us right here a little bit early tonight. But, ladies and gentlemen, bring him in right now. Your winner of the last two 410 races he has entered here in Central PA, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Peck. Justin, welcome to the Highside Hustle, my friend. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Hey, no problem. But hey, congratulations, man. You and the Misfits are absolutely rolling right now. 2 wins right now in Central PA. You picked up the win 2 weeks ago over the Port Royal Speedway, and then you picked up the win on Friday night down at the Grove. I tell you what, it just seems like you guys have the mojo going for you guys right now.
Yeah, the team morale is definitely high. If we can just stay up front right now, it seems to be something that's tougher to do in the sport. I mean, it seems like we can pass cars pretty efficiently. Just starting up front and staying up front seems to be our downfall right now. So if we can just keep drawing good pills, and now going into the All-Star stuff, we can just get ourselves positioned right and get ourselves into the dash. I think we'll be out front.
Yeah, and let's go back to Friday night a little bit. We were talking a little bit of off air here, and we said about how the Grove. I was personally surprised on they raced on Friday night with the wins they had throughout the entire day, and I was very, very shocked that they raced. And hats off to everyone down at the Williams Grove Speedway for getting that show in there. But man, was that place juiced up on Friday night? I mean, we saw some late model go out with Brian Bernheisel, which we'll get into here in a little bit later on the show, but. I tell you what, were you expecting those kind of conditions there on Friday night down at the Grove?
I've been to Williams Grove a handful of times now, and I feel like every time I expect something rolling into that place, I never guess right. So I've learned to just show up and take with the train. No, I wasn't exactly expecting a choppy, rough cushion and some juice down low to start the night, but. It kind of just worked out for us. I mean, Sean Strasbaugh made awesome calls, man. I mean, like I was telling you guys earlier, when we showed up there, big stagger, had the right rear pushed out, nose lowered, and we started off right where we needed to be, and that paid dividends later on. And, I roll in there, and I'm, the worst person about drawing a pill, and we drew the 1 right off the bat, so that helps. And then going into the redraw, we draw the 2. So it just, like I said, about positioning yourself right, and it just makes your whole night easier versus let's say we start at 6, I'd have had to been able to go 4 in the fluff and try and be cowboy up the whole night. And it just worked out. It just worked out in our favor.
Yeah, and we kind of hit on it a little earlier when we were talking before the show. First career win in your 15th start at a track like Williams Grove with as much history as it has. What does that mean to you to get that win there out of the way?
Definitely gives me some confidence going back, because I've never had confidence going into the Grove. Just tough to get around. And, a young guy like myself, you always think that pushing a car a little bit harder and trying a little bit harder is the way to go. But it just seems like going to, long straightaways and tight turns like the Grove is, you just can't be doing that kind of stuff. So just, backing off the throttle just a little bit. When I say backing off the throttle, I'm not saying dumping the throttle, but just, not trying to run the place flat out and using the brakes a little bit more, and just kind of backing up maybe half throttle, getting into the turn, just trying to keep the bars loaded and stuff, and slowing yourself down enough just to be able to make the turn it paid huge. So it's cool to win at a place that has such history like Williams Grove does.
And then we look back at the week before where you got the win up at Port Royal, and I tell you what, that place there, that's really come around the last couple of years. And your race there, I mean, yes, he was up front, you had a good draw to start everything there, but you had to earn that win in order to be able to go up there, and you had some good competition behind you there too.
Yeah, beating one of the Speed Palace's best, and Anthony Macri, was pretty cool. It'd have been cool. It'd have been cool to race with him, Lance, and some of those other guys that seem to win all the time there. That would have been just icing on the cake. But Speed Palace is tough, no matter what. You gotta know how to have throttle control, and you gotta know when to put your car in the right place. And that's one of those places that momentum pays huge dividends. So you get to race from lap traffic, and you start throwing sliders. You have to be on point and on your game. So it just goes to show how great our car is, man. The Book Misfits 13s are just, those guys are badass, man. They give me the car I want every night, and then if we're a little bit off, I can talk to them about it, and they seem to make the right adjustments. And Speed Palace is one of those places I've been dreaming about winning at for years and years. So in this day and age of the internet, I get to go on YouTube and watch videos of the Speed Palace, and leading up to going to Port Royal, I tend to watch way too many YouTube highlights and just full night read. It's it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I really like Port Royal.
So you start the season, new team, new faces all around. You bang out these two quick wins. How does that have your confidence rolling into the start of the All-Star season?
It's my confidence is pretty high right now. Like I said, everyone involved with this deal is kind of on cloud nine right now. To be honest with you, I felt like we had potential to win earlier than we did. Because we've run I'd say we've probably run 20 races by now. I have to go back and look, but it's pretty close to 20 races. And I seriously thought going down into Florida with just the knowledge and the group of guys I got around me, we'd have been able to pick off a win down there. But that's racing. You always, like I said earlier, you always go into something with a game plan, and it never works out that way. So I really didn't think that my first two wins would come in Pennsylvania. But it definitely gives you a confidence booster. I mean, we're going into the All-Star opener this weekend, and that's kind of what we're focusing on this year, is trying to go after the All-Star points. So I think if we can go there and knock out a solid finish, that'll just boost our confidence a little bit more. And in this deal, confidence is everything. I mean, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, so to say. So it's definitely a huge deal being able to kind of be on a high going into the point season.
Absolutely. And we'll get back on the All Stars here in just a second. But I saw we had a question here from the captain, Scotty Deal, down here in the comment section below. And he said, give us a little bit of history lesson on Justin Peck here, because you've been racing for a while, bud. And even doing some research here for the show, they even dabbled in some asphalt stuff. So tell us a little bit about where you got started in racing, and how you got to this point here where you're running with the Book Misfits.
Well, I started running for my dad, way back when. My papa actually had a car that my cousin had raced in the quarter midget ranks. It was a real old Eagle 2. When I got into it, they were on Eagle 4, and I was racing an old Eagle 2 from I don't even know what year. That's kind of what got the ball rolling. I actually won my second race out here in Mini Indy, just over in Indianapolis at the state fairgrounds, and from there progressed into the micro sprint ranks and ran some Canyon midget stuff. And actually, the guy that owns Pit Stop Barbecue and Grill in Brownsburg, not too far from Hoosier Tire where I work at. Eric Cottengame actually owned the car, and it's on display there by the salad bar. Still got all my sponsors. From there, kind of did kept running the micro stuff, ran a little bit of asphalt late model stuff back in the day for a guy named Tommy Simpson. That was cool. It just didn't pan out. The pavement stuff takes, I don't want to say it takes money because all racing takes money, but the financial side of that is way bigger than it is to maybe, let's say, run a midget or a sprint car. So moved on from that, went into the dirt midget stuff, and progressed eventually into the sprint car stuff where I'm at now. I've been running for my family for a long time, and we had the backing of Durcoat, who is now owned by Exalta. They funded me for a long time, and kind of when that washed up is kind of when I set out and said I was going to be a professional sprint car driver, and just kind of took some rides with some guys, and maybe didn't run as great with some, ran good with some others, and it just kind of led me into this deal. I was driving for Pete Grove in 2019, at the beginning of 2020, which kind of gave me my first real, big shot of being on the road and kind of traveling and putting myself in front of the right people. And I guess I put myself in front of Book back in 2020 and stuff, and was able to fill in for Paul McMahon last year, and that's kind of where I landed where I'm at.
Now, you're from the Indianapolis area, and obviously everyone that is around that area kind of has that aspiration to go to Indy. Has that ever been in your kind of aspirations there at some point?
Yeah, it's definitely been on my radar. I'm not 100% sure on how to get to that point, but that's definitely where I want to go. I'm having a lot of fun running the wing sprint car stuff, man. I mean, realistically, my goal, my whole life that I've been working towards to be a full-time outlaw and eventually be the World of Outlaw champion. So I feel like now with the group of guys that I got around me and just kind of with the team that I'm with, I feel like we have a real good shot of getting there. We're going to run the All-Stars full-time this year and next year and just kind of see where we're at and reevaluate. But, I wouldn't put it past the Book Misfits to hit the Outlaw Tour at some point.
Oh my God, that'd be a shit show and a half if they were out there in the Outlaws and you guys won the championship. Oh my God.
We'd burn the place down for sure.
Yeah, Charlotte would not be standing. That's for damn sure. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. I was waiting to see if Adam had a question, but apparently we lost Adam. But so let's lead in here to the flow racing All Star Circuit Championship by Mobile One. You're going to be competing with them this year with the Books Misfits. So what? How are we looking in going this year here? I mean, there's a lot of good competition here. We kind of talked last week with our guest Aaron Noel about I thought it might have been Corey's championship to kind of lose, but then you look at it, it's like, okay, there's about 5 or 6 guys that can go on and win this thing now that Reitzel's completely gone out of the picture. And you guys are one of them. So how you guys feel going into that?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's a 60 race long battle for sure. It's we got really stiff competition this year. There's 12 with the addition of Cap Henry today. It's going to be 11 other guys that are just giving each other hell throughout the year. But I think it'll be good. The 26 is definitely going to be tough to beat. The 5 will be tough to beat. Um, the 11 will be tough to beat. Not to leave anybody out. I mean, everybody's going to be, on their game. And it's going to be, like I said, it's just going to be a battle all the way through the end. But, um, some of these guys have been out on the road a little longer than some others. I think that's really what play into the biggest factor is just who can outlast, the next guy and who can make it through salvaging some stuff and make it through national salvaging their stuff. And I think it'll be good. I think going into sprint week and going into the Pennsylvania stuff is going to be kind of where we really hit on. I spent a lot of time in Ohio, and then thanks to John Trone last year, I spent a lot of time out in Pennsylvania. So I'm feeling pretty confident. My crew chief Sean Strasbaugh and Kurt Williamson, doing all my shock stuff. They've had a lot of experience at those places. They've been on the road for a long time and been racing out in Pennsylvania and Ohio for forever. So I think that'll play into our hand a little bit and just kind of helping me out a little bit, getting going to some different tracks that I may not have been to. Like I said, they've got a lot of experience at all kinds of places, so I think that'll pay huge dividends.
And we have another. I don't know if we hit on it while my internet was going all haywire there, but who do you think this year on the All Stars? Who do you think is going to be your toughest opponent throughout the season?
Man, that's a tough question because, like I said, there's 11 others on the list. Um, 26, Corey Lyson will obviously be really tough. Just he's been with Rudine for a few years now, and they've been traveling on the All Star circuit for a while, so they'll be pretty tough. Brent Marks will be really good. Even Cap Henry's going to be really good, especially at his hometown Ohio place, and he's one of the best around around anywhere in Ohio. Madsen will be good. That Sam McGee Motorsports team seems to be really fast right now. TJ Michael just won a race not too long ago. He'll be pretty tough. I mean, like I said, I really don't know if I have an answer for that. I think every guy that we're going up against is really good at what they do, and just kind of depends how much of the racetracks play into their hand.
And another thing you touched on too a little bit is how much you guys spend in Pennsylvania this year. I mean, this series always seems like an Ohio series to me, but man alive, had they become a real Pennsylvania series? And how critical has it been to be in PA and be able to run Williams Grove as much as you had so far, Lincoln, Port Royal? How critical has it been for you guys to be in here to get coming that nose that goes into your championship? Because really, Pennsylvania is going to really decide this championship.
Yeah, me and Sean were talking about this not that long ago, and it seemed like we're right. Reitzel did win the most races the last handful of years, but really where he really stretched out his points lead was going into those Pennsylvania swings. It seemed like he'd come out of there and not run any worse than 10th, whereas the rest of us, it seemed like our best finishes were like 6th or 7th. You know what I mean? So just I think the Pennsylvania stuff. I mean, it makes up. Shoot, it feels like half the races. So
Mhm.
it's nice to be able to go around there and get a bunch of laps at the beginning of this year in the car that I'm going to be competing in. But even last year, in the 39 car, it's I spent 2 months or more out there doing nothing but racing in central Pennsylvania. So that's it's gonna play huge dividends, just knowing the track and knowing what the track's going to do. And just kind of, it sounds crazy, but knowing when, if it rains the night before, some of these places might have the track packed up and slick, just even though it rained, an inch or two. But then you got places that, leave their stuff opened up and it's just going to be rough and rutted up the whole time. So it just, all that stuff plays huge when you actually show up that day and you know where to set your car up at and you know what you got to do as far as, from a driver's standpoint.
So, uh, going kind of back to the season here, which tracks are you most looking forward to running? The bigger tracks, or do you kind of more so favor the bull rings, or?
I usually tend to be a bull ring guy just because my background is, midget racing and stuff. I spent a lot of time running the power ice stuff out in Illinois and even out here in Indiana a little bit, running with the USAC boys. So, honestly, I'm really looking forward to going to Kokomo. Kokomo is my favorite track of all time, so I can't. Kokomo. I've won a lot of midget races around there, so it'd be nice to add a 410 sprint car win to my resume at a place like Kokomo, or even going to these new tracks here like Circle City. Going to Gas City would be cool. Just being able to race, within an hour and a half of my house is going to be outstanding for me. But honestly, I'm Eldora, Kokomo. I don't remember, is Plymouth, Wisconsin on the schedule? That's a pretty cool joint.
I think
Something.
so. I think they're up there that IRA swing.
Yeah, something like 3/8 or smaller is really right up my alley. I know. Recently we've won on some half miles and we have speed around there, but personally, my favorite is something with a fat curb and just gnarly racing the whole time, throwing sliders. That's what I'm really about.
Boy, you really are an Indiana boy, loving those fat curves and those bull rings, aren't you? You really are an Indiana fella there. Here's another question, and well, we have a question. Well, I'll bring this in first here, but there's two different questions here. We had two people asking about Speed Week here. Are you going to be running APA Speed Week? I imagine you guys will be back in during that little break you guys have from the All Stars here until I think you run that weekend. But will you guys be coming in for Speed Week at all?
Yeah, as of right now, well, honestly, until last week, we weren't planning on running any of the speed week, and Sean and I kind of laid out the schedule in front of us, and we're talking, we're like, oh, we're going to get this motor back at about this time. We're going to have this motor. So, as of right now, we're kind of planning on trying to do the whole PA speed week thing. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how much equipment we tear up or if we blow a motor or this, that, or the other thing. But as of right now, I think we're going to try and do the whole thing.
Awesome deal. That's awesome to hear because PA Speed Week, man, there's not much like. I know Ohio Speed Week is a big deal, but I tell you what, PA Speed Week, man, that is just a grind in itself. I mean, they both are. They're both a grind, and it's just incredible to see how much racing goes on in those 10 days. And well, I guess now it's kind of 20 days now, but if you combine Ohio Speed Week and PA Speed Week.
Yeah, I think I was counting it. I think we were going to do like 15 races in 21 days or 16 races in 21 days. It was something gnarly. So we're just going to have, like I said, we're going to have to be on top of our game. We're going to have a meal plan laid out. You can't be eating Burger King every night after the races or drinking a case of beer every night after the race. So we're going to kind of have to dial some of that stuff back. But I think it'll be pretty cool, man.
A little bit of meal prep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I didn't.
so
that
so
stuff is huge.
being from Indiana, how in the world did you stay away from the wingless 410 side of things?
I don't, that's a great question. I don't know, especially coming from the midget stuff. I mean, I ran some non-wing stuff and got to drive for some really cool car owners like Jerry Burton and Michael Dutcher and some guys like that. But, to be completely honest with you, it just made the most financial sense to go wing racing. Especially being a family-based team like I was when we jumped into the wing ranks and stuff like that. It was, okay, we can buy a 410 and we can go run for $1,400, in Indiana, or we could travel 3 hours and go race for $3,000 to win in Ohio. So it just, looking at it from that kind of a sense seemed to make, the most financial sense, I guess. But like I said, at the end of the day, man, I've been dreaming of being a World of Outlaw guy for, since I was racing quarter midgets. So that just, to me, that was the coolest and the baddest stuff there was, and that's kind of just the path I wanted to go down.
Boy, not many people from Indiana actually say that. They normally go out to that wingless stuff, but there's not many people that say that they want to go out there and be for a World of Outlaw champion. But it's coming, I think, bud. You guys are on a good track right now. I know you got rained out tomorrow night at Attica, but I think Saturday you guys got a good shot there with the way you guys are rolling up at Attica, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to hit the ground running as soon as we show up Saturday. Attica is one of those places that I usually tend to get around well, and I think the last handful of times we've been there, I don't know, knock on wood or something, but I don't think we finished outside the top 10 the last handful of times I've been there. So, being around the boot guys, I think it's just going to give us that much more of an advantage.
Well, Justin, this has been a ton of fun tonight, but thank you so much for taking some time out here. Glad you found a link to get on here. I know you were talking about that, trying to find that for you, but glad you found it. This has been a ton of fun, man. Congratulations on your wins at the Grove and Port Royal. Who do you got to thank, and who's going to help you get up and down the road this year with the Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions?
Yeah, man, Jonathan and the Tree Center is really giving us a lot of backing and exactly what we need to compete for a championship. Obviously Tom Book with Book Motorsports, Coastal Race Parts. They've been outstanding and just treated us like family. So can't thank those guys enough. K&M Filters, Kramer Craft, Racers Trading Post, Rex Norris Trucking. All the guys that have supported me for a long time and all the guys that are partnering up with us this year. Just, I think it's going to be an outstanding year. Can't thank them enough.
Well, Justin, boy, there it is. There it is. I love it, man. Hey, you've been taught by Kurt, haven't you? Kurt has taught you pretty well so far, I think.
Like I said, I've been getting a beer gut, man. I got to switch to the teas. This bloat me as bad.
Oh, stay away from that Pennsylvania beer, man. That shit will rot you. Anyway, congratulations, buddy. Thanks for coming on tonight. Continued success, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you guys when you guys roll in here. Come, I guess 2 weeks when you guys are back in for your first swing with the All Stars. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
Take care, Justin. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Peck. Oh, that was fun. That was fun to get the night started off right at him. And I tell you what, can you name me a car that is rolling better? Maybe outside of Brad Sweet. Because Brad Sweet's rolling pretty well with the Outlaws right now, but I don't know if there's a car in the country right now that is rolling as well as what Justin Peck is.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, Book team has that thing rolling, and I'm for it because he deserves it. He's a good kid, good head on his shoulders. Glad to see he's doing some good things, and I can't wait to get the All-Star season kicked off.
Yeah, we'll be kicking them off Saturday night as they have canceled on canceled tomorrow night due to weather, and also a couple other places around here have canceled as well. I believe Williams Grove, they already canceled for tomorrow night. Big Diamond has canceled for tomorrow night as well, which is a smart call. It's going to be a terrible night tomorrow night for racing. You're talking highs in
Yeah.
the 40s. It's not going to be a good night for racing. So great call by the speedways there, and we'll start off on our trip around the speedways here as we get on Ryan Smith here in a little bit. I told him to come on here about 8:35, so we got about 10 minutes till Ryan comes on here. Justin was actually kind of on already. We were shooting the shit with him a little bit before the show here. Came on, so we're like, all right, we'll just get you on, get you going on your way, bud. So thanks a lot to Justin Peck for joining us. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us here on the Highside Hustle Night. I'm Bert Wojcik. That's Adam Ruber. Our executive producer is Chris Graham. And we'll get started with the Williams Grove Speedway this past Friday night there, where our guest was just on the line, Justin Peck, picked up his first career Williams Grove Speedway win this past Friday night in a very, as I said, a very surprising race, Adam, because the track was nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting, when they said they were going to race, I was expecting a dried out, rubber down, bottom bean fest. And I tell you what, that track was juiced up. They had to have that thing open on Thursday night into the Friday with all that rain we got.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wasn't expecting much when I got there until I saw the track. It was impressive, to be honest with you, and they didn't do a whole lot of work to it. Definitely one of the more cowboy up tracks I've seen from Williams Grove in quite a while, which was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought the racing itself was good. I mean, Justin, he had that car in another league of its own there. I was expecting maybe once they got a lot of traffic there, it would have been a little more competitive, which it did. It did get pretty competitive there when they got a lot of traffic there. TJ was starting to close that gap a little bit. But man, those restarts, Justin just put the hammer down and just sailed it away, man. The Misfits had that car rolling very, very well this past Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a missile all night, like absolute missile. So kudos to Justin and team.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was Justin Peck pick up the win over TJ Stutz. Chase Deeks, Timmy Buckwalter from 14th to 4th. What a hell of a run for Timmy Buckwalter. Tim Schaefer. I'm looking one notch down there. My fault. Tim Schaefer from 14th to 4th, and then Steve Buckwalter, who finally gets the monkey off his back and not only finishes the race but gets a top 5 at the Grove for Steve Buckwalter.
Yeah, I mean, and he looked good too. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Hopefully he has that team rolling in the right direction. He's had some tough luck to start the season, to say the least. So definitely good to see him up and at it.
Absolutely. And Tim Schaefer, boy, they're just as rolling too. Man, that thing was a charge on Friday night. And so was Danny Dietrich too. Danny took the provisional to get into the field, and he came from the back up to 9th, I believe. So
no.
you can't say there wasn't some passing.
That wasn't a provisional. He was the first alternate. Shearer scratched.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, well, my mistake there. Anyway, so move on to the super late models here, where we saw one of the wildest flips I think we have ever seen in any form of racing, where we saw Brian Bernheisel go over and out over the ballpark in turns 1 and 2 at the Williams Grove Speedway. They believe it's the first super late model to ever go out. Now, this is in his heat race there. It looked like it hiked up on the cushion there, and it flipped, and it was a spectacular flip. Now, Brian did complain some soreness, so they took him to the hospital. Originally, they said it was going to be a broken wrist and also fracture in his neck, but they gladly say that the wrist was not broken, but he did have surgery, a successful surgery on Sunday to stabilize the fracture in his neck. He's out of the hospital right now, and we are wishing a very, very speedy recovery to you, Brian. I know that 119 car, they had that thing getting ready to roll. There was a lot of high hopes for that car this season here, and it just sucks when something like that happens to kind of take all that momentum away from you that you had going.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of wild things at the Grove. I've seen a lot of cars leave the ballpark, but I don't think I can ever recall seeing a late model go out. So, like you touched on there, I mean, sucks to see. He was fast. He was really fast pretty much everywhere he went so far this season. So definitely wishing him a speedy recovery, and hopefully we get to see him on the track here sometime soon.
Absolutely. So wish you well, Brian. Hopefully we'll talk to you here very soon. Anyway, but continuing the super late models here, we saw Max Blair pick up his first career West Coast Speedway win over Colby Fry, Jason Coburn, Andy Haas, and Dylan Yoder. And Colby kind of coming off a lack of a better term, a terrible season last year. And he looked really good on Friday night there. I don't know, you can call it a little bit of a help with the draw or the track conditions, but Colby really rebounded here on Friday night.
A little bit of both. I mean, he's had some speed pretty much wherever he's went this year so far. So hopefully it's kind of same thing with Steve Buckwalter. You know, maybe luck's starting to turn around. Maybe he's going to get his seasons pointed in the right direction. So guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yes, sir, we will. All right, folks. Well, we'll get back into more recapping here in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to take our first commercial break of the night. When we come back, we'll have the winner from the Bridgeport Speedway this past Saturday night with the United Racing Club 360 Sprint Cars. Ryan Smith will be joining us here. Stay tuned. You're watching the Highside Hustle.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com.
This Independence Day weekend, kick your party off with a bang. DeWeather Center presents the first annual DeWeather Cares Charity Softball Classic, presented by the National Racing Network. The Palmerton Boobies, DeWeather Center Bluecocks, Blue Mountain I-95ers, Pocono Front Platers, Schuylkill County Crackers, Reading Nurses, Catasauqua Blue Tits, and Beltsville Lake Monsters will take the field in Emerald. Find out more on Facebook at DeWeather Center. DeWeather Center, offensively accurate.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone? Anyone? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Bert Wojcik alongside Adam Rubright, Chris Kramer, our producer. And joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, via audio right now. He was the winner of the URC opener this past weekend down at the Bridgeport Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is Ryan Smith. Ryan, welcome to the Highside Hustle, my friend. How you doing tonight, bud?
Really good, man. Thanks for having me on. What's happening?
Hey, not much, not much. Hey, congratulations on the win down at Bridgeport on Saturday evening there. Have you ever seen a track go from two extremes like that, where normally it goes from one extreme that we had where it was normally it goes from what it was in the feature to what we had in the heat race, but this was completely reversed. That was absolutely crazy to see the way they did the track.
Yeah, it's strange, you know. It's kind of like racing in East Bay, where it's almost like the tide came in and and the moisture came back, and they didn't do much to it from the heat races to our feature, and yet we're done to
RC
a hell of a
opener
racetrack.
shot
So,
on the ins.
you know, it's I talked to Rich Tobias about it. I go and start over, or what's your plan here? Because we ain't gonna make it on tires, and I'm just gonna go out and scratch it and put a little water on it. He says, "Hard tires with you, right?" So, yeah, we still, even with a medium, we ain't gonna make it 25 laps. So for it to go back to that, you know, I was really surprised, and I'll tell you that racetrack's pretty awesome. I think it's gonna make for good racing here next week with 410s too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look at we have some highlights up right here thanks to the Bridgeport Motorsports Park down there. And you were saying about your tire combination, you were one of the only ones that went with that soft compound there. And boy, did that work. That car came alive. It was almost like kind of on how like the Formula One side of things, where if you have that soft compound, it charges so much better there. But I was very surprised when you said about that.
Yeah, I mean, we starting 15th, we had to roll the dice, and that's why I was kind of on Rich there about ripping up the track and getting some moisture back in it, because you know, if it was going to be locked down, we weren't going to go anywhere. You're going to get in line and follow the guy in front of you. So we rolled the dice, and you know, if it was going to take rubber early, I was going to pull in. But hell, you know, the first 3 laps, it was marching to the front, and then I kind of got worried there a little bit that, you know, maybe I may have used them up, and they weren't going to make it to the end. But I mean, hell, I could have went another 10 laps probably on tires. So, you know, it's a sprint car race. It's 25 laps. They drop the green. It's hammered down for 25 laps, and it was either going to make it or not. So it worked out.
That's for sure. So I read an article the other day. The theme of it was you getting back to basics and having fun. A wise man once told me, if you're not having fun at something, you should probably stop doing it. What does it mean to you and your family just to have you back to having fun at the racetrack again, compared to, you know, showing up and feeling like it's a job?
That's my old man said that to me growing up, you know, all my life. If it ain't fun, you don't do it. And you know, racing should be fun. I mean, this is more of a hobby. You know, we spend all week preparing for it, and you know, when you get there and you're not having any fun, you don't do it. So it meant a hell of a lot to get hooked up with some good people that are on the same page. I mean, they're doing it for fun. You know, obviously, every win, you draw, you still got to smile at the end of the day, and obviously, when you win, it's that much more fun. But it means everything to us. You know, I was pretty burned out after the last 2 years, and to be totally honest with you, I wasn't sure if I was even going to keep doing it. And you know, you kind of get mentally beat up. Like, man, I don't know if I can do this. You know, I like had huge shoes to fill and didn't fill them, and you know, so how do you come back from that? And I mean, win the first night out. That's definitely a good way to come back from it.
Yeah, and I saw that with you guys there. I mean, obviously, when my time in Port Royal, you guys ran up there pretty much every week there, and I could just feel in you guys there was a difference with your whole team. I mean, you kept kind of your whole core of your team together here wherever you go here, and it just seemed like you guys were a little bit bummed out and burned a little bit from the last couple of years with the 410s, but that was just a different feeling from you guys when I went over and talked to you all on Saturday afternoon there. It just seemed like you guys are having fun again, as you said.
Absolutely, and nothing against anybody that with Mike and every last 2 years. I mean, it's just the situation I put myself in, and I brought my two guys along, and it just made for 8-10 hour days at work to go to the shop at night every night, and by the time we got to the weekend, we were all wore out, and we just couldn't ever get caught up, and it just you slowly got buried in the hole deeper and deeper and deeper, and it was just tough to get out of it. And obviously we needed to win, and it's not that we didn't run bad. It's just we weren't winning as much as we needed to, and so the pressure was on. I was putting the pressure on myself more than anything, and it reflected on my guys and just not having any fun at the racetrack. So it was a trying couple of years, and I had to give it a shot. I had the opportunity. I couldn't say no. But at the end of the day, I mean, it almost ran me out of sprint car racing, and it's a mental hit, and it's the confidence and the whole nine you got to have, and when you start beating yourself up and things aren't going right, and it's a slow spiral out of control downhill, and until it comes to an end, you don't really know how bad you got yourself beat up, and once it was all over, I woke up the next day and I was like, what the hell was I doing? Why was I doing this? And so, the last 8 months, it was, I went to work and went home, and it was a whole different lifestyle. And I couldn't really do that either, to be honest with you, but I had to get back into it and kind of found a good group here with Brad and specialty rigging. And then with Greg Denochik and Jeremy Bittner from up there, we're going to roll the 6 car out here pretty soon. And they're in the same boat. He's doing it. He wants to have fun. We want to have fun. And, obviously we're going to win. We want to win, and we're going to win. But, at the same time, we're not going to get ourselves burned out if we don't want to go. If we want to take a weekend off, we're going to pick and choose what we want to do and not burn ourselves out and make it seem like a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I think a lot of people tend to stray off the path. Like you feel almost like you have to go to the races. Like, I mean, I know the feeling. I've helped Colt Harris for years. He's one of my good friends. But the last couple of years, it got to the point where, if we didn't feel like racing, we didn't. It was just one of those things.
Right.
You have to almost reset yourself every once in a while, and then on the other side of that reset, you feel 10 times better. But sorry to go on a little tangent there, but
we're all on the same
as
page.
Far as as far as chassis wise, what makes you choose the chassis that you use?
Well, so I met Ryan Linder a few years ago. He brought me down to Phoenix. I actually brought a couple motors down, and we went down and raced his 410 car down at Yuma, Arizona. And Ryan Linder builds his own chassis, X1 chassis they're called, and he builds everything himself. He bends them, he welds them. The consistency factor is huge in sprint car racing. I mean, we go through race cars like they're tires, they're throwaways. So when you build one, you run it 15 races or whatever, and you build another one, you don't want to spend 2 weeks trying to figure out what that one needs. And Ryan's cars just seem to be very consistent. Like, to be totally honest with you, I built 3 one winter, 3 in a row with all the same parts, just to see how they were going to scale, how they were going to measure out on the ground, and all 3 of them were within 1 pound on the scales, and that's unheard of. It'll take you 10 triple X's to find 3 that are that way. And he's just very anal with his stuff, and he builds everything identical. And so, and the safety factor, I mean, they're built right. They're American made. It's and he's good people, and he's customer service is great, and he's at the racetrack. He races himself. He gets it. So That's why we're with him. I've been with him for probably 4 or 5 years now, and then don't plan on changing.
And it's a winning combination there. I mean, I've gotten to know Ryan over the last couple of years. I believe it was through you, and you're right. It's such a good family operation with him and his wife. The whole thing. He moved this whole operation from Arizona out here to Central PA in the middle of nowhere, basically, and he's just creating a huge following right now with the work you're doing, and also you just had Dylan pick up a win here this past Saturday with his chassis. I mean, they are just, it just shows that there's speed in these chassis and that there's good quality work. And it just goes to show that he can run with any of these guys right now.
Absolutely. And he's got a Proxier Foss on now, and he's got a handful of New York freaks and a bunch of guys in Arizona. He rolled the dice too coming here. I mean, he moved, like you said, moved his whole operation to try and make it go at a chassis business, which you really, it's hard to make money at. And he's making it happen, and he's building himself bigger and bigger, and he's at the point where he needs to hire somebody, but he's so picky that he probably ain't gonna find anybody.
I believe that. Knowing Linder, I truly believe that just because on how specific he is on his work. I mean, as you said, I remember when on my old gig we did a special with him, and it was just so interesting to see his whole workshop and everything. It is so intricate on how he does his work and how precise it is, and it just goes to show all the quality work that he does. And I agree with you, Ryan. I think it's going to be tough to find somebody that's going to be put in the work, especially in this day and age, put in the work that he does to be as precise as he is.
Absolutely, and like you were getting at there, it's hard to find anybody that wants to work right now. So he might as well just figure it on doing it himself, and maybe work some midnight hours and get her done. But not even like the stuff he does with the headers, like his header gig. It's just amazing how his welds are like next to perfect, and he's just so anal about everything, and that's what it takes. I mean, it's only little things that you can be off on, and it throws you off way, way, way too far in the 410 world. So you got to have everything perfect.
Yeah, it's the simple little meticulous things that a lot of the times go unnoticed that really, sometimes is a make or break. Yeah. I mean, heck, we've gone through that with the modified numerous times. I mean, it same principle, pretty much whatever side of racing you're in. The little things will bite you in the ass 10 out of 10 times. So we all know working on race cars can be a grind sometimes. You have your off years where you're not that you have good years where you string together consistent good runs. How much of that do you think is done in the race shop? I mean, obviously we know what it takes to get the job done on the racetrack, but to me personally, I feel like 99% of the races are won in the race shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna say in the sprint car racing world, I'm gonna say 80% is preparation in the shop, having the right stuff, having all your spares put together. All the little things at the racetrack that you shouldn't be spending your time on at the racetrack. You should be doing that at the shop, and you should have one job at the track, and that's to chase the racetrack and drive the race car and make it. I'd say 80% of that's the stringing together consistent years is preparation in the race shop. As far as winning races, you got to have, obviously your car's got to be right. It's got to be prepared properly, and everything's got to work. But in the 410 world, you got to be. I think the other half of it is in and just running the hell out of these things. You look at like a guy like Kyle Larson comes in here, smokes their asses day in and day out because he gets everything out of it. Like he's 110% all the time, and that's where you can't factor and the balls, so to speak. You got to be able to rip it and not be afraid of tearing anything up either.
Well, speaking of ripping, when are we going to be seeing you ripping around the 410? Is that going to be coming up soon here? And how many 410 races are we going to be seeing you run this year?
Well, yeah, we were planning on bringing a 6-car up there this weekend, but I just talked to Jeremy, and I think we're going to wait one more week. So I'm going to work on maybe bringing the white and blue 10X up Saturday to Port. There's a small chance for that, but as soon as the Denochuk boys are ready to roll next week, I mean, we're planning on maybe 40 races or so this year with them, 410s, and then the 10 deal. He's got a 410 now, so he'd like to run 10 shows or so, and then a handful more 360 races. So I got a pretty big schedule lined up anyway, even though I was trying to scale back a little. It's not looking like that's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's gonna, Ryan, because there's a lot of people that want to see you go out there and run. And I tell you what, your 360 program. I mean, even when in the 72 car, you guys were rolling in that thing there too, and now you got the 10 rolling too. It seems like the 360s are doing pretty well around this area. We saw the car counts. I know obviously the pandemic last year had a lot to do with New York not running, so you got a lot of New York guys coming down here. But the 360 program, a lot of people were kind of on the fence about it, but I think it's proven around in Pennsylvania that it's a serious, legit thing. There was a lot of good competition. You just saw you and Brian train a hell of a battle there on Saturday at Bridgeport, and just anywhere it goes, seems like they put on some really good competition with the URC team.
It's really good to see. It was kind of going down the wrong way for a while, and I think you got a handful of micro guys coming up, and there's some good talent from the 600 world that is making a move. And the USAC deal with 360s is the primary, so now them guys can put wings on and run URC too. So it's all good. It's definitely good for the sport. It's a stepping stone to the 410s, and like you said, I think you're going to see some great racing with URC this year, because there's 10 guys that are, and there's a few new guys that are actually, like, didn't hear much of a couple guys that were in the top 10 there on Saturday, and there's some good talent, so it's really good to see.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of just hit on it there a little bit with the micro stuff. Do you still have any of yours? And if so, do you plan on going micro racing when you're not running the 360 or the 410?
No, I haven't. I don't have any micro stuff, and I could probably jump in one, and I may do that. Nothing definite, but I'd like to go rip around Kutztown one time. The new Kutztown seems to put on
Get
some
you ready for that
real good
show.
real good shows, and yeah, and I'd like to get back into the micro world. It's kind of where I cut my teeth, and just to get back and have some fun. Non-wing 600s is really good racing, and there's a lot of talent there too. They get 60 cars at Kutztown every week, so it'd be fun to go down and play a little bit. But we'll see.
Well, it might not be a bad idea, because I don't know if you plan on running that 410 show at Kutztown, but it may not be a bad idea. What's your thoughts on the whole new Kutztown layup, and that they're crazy enough to go out there and try and run a 410 show?
Well, yeah, Rich Tobias, he's a crazy word he just used, kind of, but he ain't afraid to put on something special, and he brought the midgets in there last year or 2 years ago, and that put on a hell of a show. I think the sprint cars is a tick small. He said he moved the outside wall out 5 feet and the inside tires out 5 feet, so that ain't much. But
No.
we'll see. He's only planning on starting 18 cars, I think he told me. So it's a time trial deal. I think it'll at least get the good cars that should be running there in the show, and maybe we can put on a good show there. I'm not sure if we're going to go yet. Kind of just shoot from the hip and playing it weekend by weekend, but we'll see. We'll see how it's going in June, and if we decide, it's only 15 minutes up the road from me, so it's kind of crazy not to, but it is there's a chance that they may tear up some race cars there. So we'll see how it's going, and it'd be fun to go race in front of the hometown crowd. So well, time will tell.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a neat deal. Hopefully, not too many cars get junked, but
yeah, it's going to come down to how he has the racetrack prepped. I mean, even like at Bridgeport, we're going there Tuesday, and we've seen every angle of that track. As far as last year, it was the first night it was gas on all night, and then the second night it was kind of like it was Saturday for the feature, and then hell, this year it was locked down in the heat races. So it's kind of I think 410's there. If it's hammered down, it's going to be pretty wicked fast. So
Ooh,
if he
you
has
took
the
the words right out
racetrack
of my
right,
mouth, buddy.
yeah, if he
You
has the
answered my
racetrack right, I
question.
mean, if he has the track right, it's going to make for a hell of a show.
Well, you answered my question about Tuesday night. If you're going to go down Run Bridgeport, kind of defend your crown, since you kind of been very well in the 360 down there. It sounds like we're going to see you on Tuesday night down there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got more laps there than any other 410 guy's going to show up. So I definitely got to go down and try and steal $5,000.
Oh, shots have been fired, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Smith is going down for that $5,000 at Bridgeport. Cannot wait to see it. Ryan, thank you so much, buddy, for coming on this show, man. I tell you what, we really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. I love talking to you, buddy. You're such a class act, dude. You and the entire crew down there. Everywhere you guys go, I love coming over. You're one of my favorite people to go talk to, and I appreciate all the support you've given us the last few years. And who do you got to thank for all your help and for your win this past Saturday night? Who's going to help you out this year?
Well, first off, my two been sticking by me the last handful of years, Jason Early and Trevor Dunn. I mean, Smiley, we call him. Jason, he's I think he eats, sleeps, and breathes Hoosier Tire. I think he dreams about it when he sleeps, and
I believe that.
that's all that guy. That guy, he is like as soon as he shows up, he goes right for the tires. Like he loves it, and so him and Trevor. Trevor's more of a car chief kind of guy. He's an all around guy, and he's been with me the last handful of years too. I mean, they stuck through the 72 deal, and they're helping me this year. So first off, I guess thank them guys for all their hard work, and obviously Brad and Shelly with specialty rigging, and they put together one hell of a little team out of Leesport, and we can go 410 racing a handful of times this year and run some 360 stuff, and he's going to race himself. Reese, the kid, he's running some 600s, and eventually I may give him a shot at the seat in a 360 here this year if he acts right and it doesn't. He graduates high school and he works here and there, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, them guys, and then Jeremy, he's another one that's been with me for. He's been my crew chief for since the second year of the Kreitze days, which seems like 20 years ago, but it's actually only eight years ago. And he put together that deal with Denochik and the 6 car up in way up past State College. It's 3 hours for me to go up there. But so thank him and Greg Denochik and all them guys for their hard work. And obviously Chris from Red Robin. We're going to have him on board this year. And
Nice.
Yeah, and Western Mountain with the 6. I mean, they stepped up and really helped us get our program going. So we got a bunch of guys that partners and friends that all came together here to make this deal happen. So can't wait for all the support and give me another shot, give me a fresh start, so to speak.
Man, I tell you what, there's somebody that deserves a fresh start. It's definitely you guys. Congratulations on the win, buddy, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you a lot more this year. Hopefully, a couple times with the 410 here, man. Best of luck to you this weekend here, and we'll see you on Tuesday down at Bridgeport.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on, and we'll see you then.
All right, take care, Bob. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Smith heading on out there. Oh, what a guy!
Did I just hear a Schuylkill County bot?
Okay. So
there's an inside joke about this. I can see it.
There is. Every time I see Ryan, we always give each other the old bot. Every time we see each other. So it is, yeah. It started. Oh God, I think that started back up the Port Royal days. Him and I were talking at one time, and we were talking. You said, "Oh, you're up there with the bots and the coal crackers out there." I said, "Yeah, bot, roll that coal," and well, there we go. That's where this started. So yes, well, I mean, really, I mean, he's on the outskirts of Schuylkill County. If you think about it, I mean, he's what,
Yeah.
you know, outside of Kutztown there by 10 minutes. It's not that far on the other side of Schuylkill County.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah, true that. So, oh boy, oh, that was a great interview with Ryan Smith. So once again, thanks a lot for Ryan joining us, and also Justin Peck joining us as well. Boy, that's a lot of fun there, and we still got a little bit of show to go yet here.
That was a lot of fun. Ryan's a great dude.
Yes.
So it was definitely fun talking to Justin also. But we all know, we all like to drink, so.
That's why we get along so well.
There isn't a person on this show that does not like to drink.
I don't know about that, Adam. I mean, that might include us having a problem. I don't know. Anyway,
the first step to admitting or to having a problem is admitting it.
I don't
will never do.
Don't admit shit. Anyway, so let's get back into our results here from this past weekend here as we go down to the Lincoln Speedway. They got back in action. And Adam, 5 winners in 5 weeks, and this time it goes to Jimmy Siegel picking up a win down there at the Lincoln Speedway. I was going to say his yearly win because he's normally good for one, but a little early for Jimmy to get that win. Normally it's midsummer he gets that win, so maybe you might see Jimmy Siegel come out there and put a couple wins together this year.
Yeah, I hope so. He looked good too. I think he started fifth or 6th, somewhere in that neck of the woods, and it was a really great race. Between him and Wagaman. Wagaman started second. You're not going to say used the handicap to his advantage, but he looked damn good for most of the race. And I think if it wasn't for lap traffic, I think Tim probably would have pulled off his second win of the year. But yeah, I mean, Siegel didn't necessarily sneak away with one early on in the year, but to his quote unquote standards, his like midsummer when the track's dry, that's usually when he pounces on the win. But I don't remember them touching the track once, track prep wise, Saturday.
Oh, Putney's rolling.
Yeah,
Freddie's rolling.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Is that a Leinenkugel?
That is a summer shandy we were drinking tonight. Oh,
Jesus
I found
Christ.
it. They are finally out. I am waiting for my porch rocker should be out at some point this month here, and I had no problem on blowing about $40 a case for 20 or 24 pack of those. I have no problem with that. Anyway, so as you said before, Jimmy Siegel picked up the win. Hey, how about again? You touched on it before. Tim Wagaman, man, what a season he's putting together! A win, a second place. And I believe Alan Crimes leading the points. I believe Tim's up there in the top 5 of the points right now. Hell of a season for that 5W team so far.
Yeah, for sure. He's fast too. I mean, he's another one. You need to start up front most times to pick off these wins, and he's had some good luck, some bad luck. Used that to his advantage. Started up front thanks to the redraw and the handicap system and all that good fun stuff, and it paid off. So it's nice to see the quote unquote underdogs, so to speak, have some good runs.
Absolutely. So Jimmy Siegel again picked up the win over Tim Wagaman, Chase Steets, Jordan Givler, and Alan Crimes round out your top 5. Jeremy Hansen picked up the win in the PA Sprint Series 305s. Now move down to the Bridgeport Speedway on Saturday afternoon there. And I tell you what, boys, when we started out that show down there, as we were just talking with Ryan about, the modified heats were okay, and then the sprint car heats, and they were just burning right rears off. And I made a joke. I was standing there at the URC table, and I looked over at the Hoosier trailer, and it looked like a line for lunch, the way they were lined up there trying to go pay the Hoosier man. And I was thinking, oh, God, it's going to be one of these nights. Did Tobias and Doug Rose save their ass? Oh, my God. Wow. Bridgeport Speedway put on a hell of a show on Saturday night for the features, and it kicked off in the big block or the fully capped big block modifies with the Doug Hoffman Memorial. Picking up the win there was Mikey Maresca. What a we had him on the show a few weeks ago. Mike Maresca is rolling right now, but at the start of that race, it was JoJo Watson and it was Dwayne Howard really put on a show at the start of that race there, Adam, and it was what a show. You see here Mikey Maresca and 3 wide with Cragen and Frank Cozy again. Thanks to Slyway Productions and Bridgeport Motorsports Park for the footage. Man, I tell you what, just the racing at Bridgeport, so damn good.
I really need to get to Bridgeport. I haven't been there yet. All of the videos I've seen last year, pay-per-view wise, I have no idea how or why I haven't been to Bridgeport, either the old track or the new one. But this new track, it puts on some fantastic racing, and I need to get down there ASAP.
Can we talk about Dwayne Howard for a second here on how he is kind of rebounding to start the season in that Gets 15 car? He looked really well up at Sealands Grove, and then I thought that once he took the lead away from JoJo Watson, I thought this race was over, and I thought it was his race to lose, and all of a sudden I thought they made contact for as much smoke came out of the side of that car. Here it turned out apparently it damaged the motor somehow. So in a way, it's a good start that Dwayne's getting some speed back after he seemed like he lost something in 357 last year. But man, I tell you what, if they can put the car together, wash the hell out, folks. Dwayne Howard's going to be something to reckon with this year.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think it was necessarily so much as Dwayne lost speed. I just think he couldn't catch a freaking break last year, especially at Grandview. He had a pretty rough season. So I don't want to say necessarily like he lost speed. I mean, you don't forget how to do things, but
no. But anyway, then
luck turning around, maybe.
Yep. Hopefully, we'll see what happens this weekend. We got the moneymaker coming up here. Anyway, Mike Maresca picked up the win, and he had a hell of a charge from Mike Mahaney at the end of that race here. Mike Mahaney, he's running a good season to start the year so far. Ryan Godown, Billy Powell Jr., and a wing gap warrior, Frank Cozy, rounds out top 5. And Mahaney's put on a pretty solid year so far to start off 2021.
He is. He's had a lot of speed right out of the box, and good for him. And I mean, he deserves it. One of the good guys. So I'd like to see it continue. He just announced today that he's going to be running Fonda as his Saturday night home, I believe. So
good for him. Cool. Be sticking with that Brett Deo group there. And as you see right now on your screen, folks, there's the smoke I was talking about. Now, where I was standing at, it looked like it was a tire rope because it was only in the corners. And then it just got progressively worse. And then you realize, okay, maybe it's not tire smoke. Maybe it is, something going on that thing. And it just came to a stop. That's when Maresca took the lead and never looked back. So, again, congrats to Mikey Maresca. Rolling just to start this modify season. And he's going to be in this weekend here, Adam, I believe, over at the Grandview Speedway for the Moneymaker.
Yes, I did see that. And good. Like you said a couple of weeks ago on the show, he likes Grandview. He has some speed there, but just never has any luck. So we'll see how Lady Luck treats him this Saturday.
She's been treating pretty well to start the season. And, of course, we talked about the URC opener this past weekend here with Ryan Smith picking up the win, starting from 15th, coming up there. And as I touched on it in our interview there, what a battle between him and Brian Carver. I tell you what, Bridgeport is a modified track week in and week out. That place is made for sprint cars. Wow, Doug Rose and everyone down at Bridgeport, hats off, guys. I mean, you guys turned shit into gold, literally, because that place was terrible after the heat. You're burning right rears off, down to the cords, even the B mains. There was people that didn't even want to go out for that race. And did you all put on a hell of a show? Wow, it was just amazing to watch. That feature there with Ryan Smith pick up the win over Andy Best. Dallas Shaw, buddy, congrats to you. Great run, bud. started on the front row. You came over with the third place finish, going back to 8th there. Very proud of you, buddy, there. And Jason Schultz and Derek Locke round out the top 5, and then Sammy Martz is your 602 winner. They also ran on Friday nights with the Mid-Atlantic Sprint Series and also some big block timing there. Kevin Nagy picked up the win in the Mid-Atlantic Sprints 305s. And now we'll move up to the Port Royal Speedway on Saturday afternoon there, where we just talked about one of the X1 race car drivers, Dylan Sisney, takes it from the front row and picks up a win. But one of the guys I want to talk about that's on this top 5 list, Adam, Pat Cannon. Boy, welcome back, Pat Cannon. Hell of a run for him up at Port Royal on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it didn't take him, quote, get back in the saddle. I mean, he definitely didn't forget how to drive a race car in the couple years off, that's for sure. I mean, he's just, the results for him have just been getting better and better and better. So I expect him to see him in victory lane in the near future at Port Royal.
I agree. And Jeff Miller, it seems like when he starts up front, he's very tough to beat. And unfortunately, Jeff got in a little too high on the wall there on Saturday afternoon. Came down, got clipped by Kerry Madsen on the front end. And then that is all she wrote. But Jeff had a good run as well. But Dylan, hats off to Dylan. I mean, he was in the right place, right time there. And I believe we got some video here from William Luce. He was on Luke's car in a feature. We saw Anthony Macri hit the wall, goes up, breaks off the right rear, and AJ Flick goes into a spin. Here's the video right now. Now this is after that. Is that AJ's over? You can see right down there by the fuel tank. There's a fire. This is old Logan Widener's car. Logan gets out, goes over to help get AJ out of the car. There, you see, there's Macri getting out of the car as well, but man, I tell you what, just hats off job to Logan. There's Logan right there getting over there. Make sure AJ's out of the car there. I don't think this is off Logan's car. I'm not sure whose car this is off of. But good on Logan Widener getting over there, making sure AJ's all right. We're glad to see AJ all right. But yeah, we'll go back here now to Dylan Sisney. Good run, good way to start the year. Got a 3rd place opening day. We've been running pretty strong here to start the season off.
Yeah, for sure. And that was in the 2 car, I believe. So I'd imagine
first one out
both
for that car.
The 2 and the 5 are probably identical, I would imagine.
Yeah,
kind of like how we had the talk with Williamson last week. All of the cars that he pretty much runs are identical setup wise and components wise. I would imagine the cars in Pennsylvania, I would imagine they're virtually the same. I don't know. We'll have to get him on the show here and ask him at some point.
Very soon we're going to have Dylan on this show. Anyway, Dylan says he picked up the win over Jeff Halligan. Danny Dietrich goes up to 3rd. The Wagners, again, in their top 5 for both of them. I almost had to do a double take after last week. No, it's not a misprint. Logan Wagner 4th, and Mike Wagner rounds out the 5th and final spot there. And in the River Valley Village Super Late Models, Jeff Ryan, we talked about last week how he thought, trying to find some speed there, and he found some because he picked up his first win of the season up for the River Valley Village Super Late Models over Rick Eckert, Gary Stuhler, Dylan Yoder, and Trevor Feathers. You look at that top 3 there. I don't want to say you need to get them AARP cards, but I mean, they've been around for a while there, and it's good to see some of the old heads still got it there, especially like Jeff Ryan, Eckert, and Stuhler, who has not been having not been having a good year the last couple of years. We've seen Gary Stuhler. Good to see him get a top 5 run out of this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm a horrible person. They're going to kick my ass.
You are. Oh, my God.
Especially Stuhler. He'll probably kick my ass.
I hope the next time you go to Port Royal, someone beats your ass just for that AARP comment.
Oh, God. I say it out of love, guys. I say it out of love. The late model boys, they're some of the best people out there, but all right, I got myself in a shitload of trouble. Anyway, good on Jeff Ryan there. Dylan Yoder gets in the top 5. Trevor Feathers, your opening day winner. And I got to give a shout out here in the Sealands Grove Ford Limited Late Models. One of a good friend of mine up there has my back for a while there. Got to give him a shout out. Devin Hart goes out there, gets his first win of the year. Congrats, buddy, on the win. And very, very happy for you and the whole 33 team going up there getting the win as well. Then we'll touch on the winners here down at the Bass Motor Speedway, where in the Super Sportsman, Chase Gutshaw picked up the win in 358. Another Skook product here, Sean Miller. Congratulations on your 358 late model win. In the street stocks, it was Cody Sight. Cody Seitz, and Extreme Socks, it was Michael Goodwin picking up the wins. All right, Adam, what's your spiel this week? What do you got in your news and notes segment?
I don't know. I don't got nothing. No, I'm just kidding. So,
God damn it.
First off, before we go any further, obviously we know Diamond Grove canceled for tomorrow. So, pretty much the only racing we're going to see tomorrow night is, yeah. So you're there. I guess we're going to hang out, watch, Outlaws tomorrow from I-55, one of my favorite tracks. What's your plans for Saturday? You going Port, Lincoln?
Nope. We're going to Grandview. We're going to Grandview.
All right. I will see you there for sure.
I will see you there for sure.
Anyway, roll into my segment of nonsense. Anywho, Short Track Super Series going back to All Tech for another Sunshine Swing in 2022. That is super
Good move
cool.
on them.
Oh, for sure. I thought the racing was great. I almost really want to try and take off vacation in February.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought, I thought Bubba's put on some good racing there, but I also thought that, it just, All Tech just seems a little bit better. It just kind of didn't work out this year with them trying to go with the Lucas Oil Tour back to back there. And it was definitely tough, but good on them going to All Tech.
Yeah, for sure. Anywho, rolling on. Justin Peck mentioned earlier that there's going to be, well, I have in my notes 11 full-time drivers, but he mentioned that they added in Cap Henry today, so that would make 12 for those who understand simple math. Bristol is bringing, yeah, that's for sure. Bristol bringing back the dirt in 2022, as some of you might have heard. Please be at night.
All right. Before we go into your next segment, boys, what was your thoughts on it?
I liked it. I had fun. For the first time in a very long time, I had fun watching a NASCAR race. I mean, do I think it could have been better? Yes. Will they get the track worked out? Yes. I mean,
yes.
Bristol Dirt's kind of going to be the same way as Oswego was. The first couple of years are going to be maybe so at best till they get the kinks worked out of it. So next year should be better. Also,
Chris?
With them bringing the dirt back for the spring NASCAR race, does that open up the door for more common folk racing, aka unprofessional racing? Dick and Richard put it before the race, which really ticked me off. But that's neither here nor there. I'd like to see like an all sprint car show one night, like have the Outlaws, USAC, and like maybe throw in 360s. I think that would be neat, but I don't think the Outlaws will ever go for it. And then like full thing where you have modifieds and late models. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I think we got to see what the Outlaws do next month down there. I think the late models, I think they'll be back, no problem. I think the show that they put on at their Dirt Nationals was good enough to allow them to come back along with the World of Outlaw Morton Billy late models, which will be down there next week, and we'll preview that coming up here next Thursday night on the Highside Hustle. But I think we'll find out the World of Outlaws non-San Diego Sprint Car Series will be back in 2022 when we get down there coming up April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So I think that's going to be a big contributing factor, but I cannot wait here. But my thoughts on this race was it was beautiful. It was awesome. They tried everything they can for what the condition they were given. We saw the monsoon that was down there on Thursday, or it's not Thursday.
Didn't a BMW like float away or some shit?
There was a BMW underwater. There was campgrounds floating away. There was porta shitters going everywhere. Yeah, it was not a good situation. So hats off.
That's a shitty situation.
God damn it! I hate you. I hate you so much.
Hey, porta potties floating around. I mean, come on. Somebody was thinking it.
We all were thinking it. We just didn't want to say it because we know how bad it is.
Well,
anyway,
I'm that guy.
Yeah, you are that
Anyway,
guy. Trust me, I see my
moving
effort.
on. Well, Chris,
Trust me,
we'll
I
patch
was
you
in
in
that
here. I
same
don't know if you have a
position.
microphone. What do you think of Bristol Dirt?
I thought Bristol Dirt was pretty good. Huge mistake on what was it? Thursday, Friday, trying to get the trucks out when the track was very obviously not ready yet.
Yes.
Part of that, I think, is having a non-dirt series run dirt. You're going to have some growing pains. But outside of that, the biggest thing to me is they have to come up with a way to control the dust. You can't get literally inches of rain and then have your drivers not be able to see, fans not be able to see, and TV cameras even not doing well with it. Everybody is screaming for Bristol to be run at night. Take that dust issue and magnify it several 100,000 times, because the lighting at Bristol is done from above and below. So you have lights on the inside of the racetrack pointing out and the high side lights pointing in. What you end up with is every, quite literally, grain of dust is a reflector. You guys as photographers know what light does when you put reflectors on it. It's more dangerous at night than it was in the day if they can't control the dirt. And we're going to see a big challenge to that when the Outlaws go there in a couple weeks.
I agree with you there, Chris, but I also saw that in the Charlotte has the same lighting. I saw Charlotte has the same light at the dirt track, so they don't have too much of a dust problem down there. It's just I think the daylight
Minus
service had a
last year.
lot how hot it got. Yeah, minus last year. I think that we'll see a cooler temps, like we said. I think you try and run this a little bit at Saturday night, cooler temps. You're not having that track bake in the sun all day long. That's what kind of killed it. You had so many laps on it too. So I think it'll be better next year. If they get that race ran at night, a little bit cooler temps where you're not having a 70-degree day, which beautiful. But
to
when you have that
mention,
much sun on the track, it doesn't help.
Yeah, that much sun and that many laps. I mean, God, that's a lot of laps in one day.
It
I mean,
but
growing pains
I
next will
loved
be
it.
better. I mean,
That was great.
Take the windshields out, let them boys run Terras. Have a competition caution every 100 laps to restock Terras and let it eat.
Well, the trucks never had that problem at Eldora. That's the thing. We've been running the trucks at Eldora since 2013, and nobody's really complained about the windshields until this year. Think about that.
Well, the windshields usually weren't fully covered in mud.
Well,
plus, like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life is like drivers under yellow using a freaking Swiffer to get the dust. Like I like that is so comical to me. But moving on,
anyway.
since we're slowly but surely running out of time. Martin Truex Jr. Can you say enough about his limited dirt experience to go out and just completely dominate that truck race?
He was at Airport Speedway last year. MTJ had one of the pro bass fishers running 600s around airport last year. So for him to say, I haven't been on dirt in a long time, that was, we'll call it a stretch.
I don't even think it was much of him saying that he wasn't on dirt. It was just the NASCAR commentators going all full send on all these asphalt guys don't have much experience on dirt. Well, just because Truex car for the last freaking 15 years doesn't mean he doesn't have dirt experience.
Plus, by the way, I was not happy with Mike Joy and Gordon, especially the way Mike Joy kind of buried a lot of the dirt guys, it seemed like.
And freaking Gordon did it too, and his background is primarily freaking dirt.
Yep.
So
I don't
know.
Anyway,
let's get on this before we get on the
12
soapbox.
to 18. He spent 6 years on the dirt and 30 years in full-bodied stock cars. He's a pavement guy.
That's fair.
That is true.
But
that is true.
He was winning 410 races at 12. How about real quick before we go to break or wrap up or whatever here, boys, how about a couple of tweets and pictures and show us your picks?
Yeah, let's do that. Adam, if you want to continue on news, we'll go through some of that.
Yeah, sure. One guy that really, really impressed me in the Cup race was Daniel Suarez. As odd as that might sound, like he impressed the absolute hell out of me.
Yeah, he impressed me too for somebody coming up from, no dirt, literally somebody who probably never had dirt background in his life outside if he went to go run Baja or something like that. But good job on Daniel Suarez. I thought he had a great weekend. I was really surprised that Joe Logano won that race, but I think maybe some of that experience he got down Volusia might have helped out. But
yeah. Same with. Did you see where Blaney ended up after he got caught up in that wreck and like 3/4 of the
eighth?
The left side was completely ripped off the car. Like
eighth.
Good on him and the team for persevering through that.
I agree.
Mentioned it before. Siegel made it 5 different winners in 5 weeks at Lincoln. That's impressive. I would have never thought that. I would have thought for sure there would have been a repeat winner, but who am I?
Top show this weekend down at Lincoln too.
Yeah, a name we haven't mentioned much. Buddy Kofoid picked up his 4th win of the season in Power Eye racing. Power Eye has only raced 4 times. He's won them all.
Tell you what, Buddy Kofoid, he's going to have a hell of a season, I think. He's good. Buddy is really freaking good.
He is, and for whatever reason, it's his 4th win in 4 starts with Power Eye, and this is the first time we've mentioned his name other than Chili Bowl. How is that even possible?
Have to start putting that in.
How did we miss the first 3? Like, how did that story go unnoticed from the start of the Power Eye season to now?
Maybe we're just dumb.
I guess so.
I don't know. What else you got?
Anyway, that's it. Other than, the last thing I have is Diamond and Grove postponed because of cold temps, but we all figured that was going to happen before they even said anything about it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you look at the timeline, the temperature at Diamond Friday night for like start of features, give or take about when the features would start, is 27 degrees.
Oh,
I don't want to be outside when it's 27 degrees, and sure as shit, race cars do not want to be outside when it's 27 degrees. Like, that is a recipe for disaster when it comes to motors.
You are correct on that. So they did do a little bit of adjusting to the schedule. Now next week will be their opener running, I believe it's 4,000 to win next Friday night. If I'm correct.
A Diamond, I believe so. Yeah, either 4 or 5, one of the two.
And then they moved the Money in the Mountains back to April 17th. Then, so they'll be running the $5,000 to win coming up here. Then in 2 weeks now. So, all right. Well, if you don't got anything else, Adam, we'll go over this weekend's racing coming up. As you said before, Big Diamond cancel along with Williams Grove tomorrow night, along with the All Stars. They cancel. Oh, by the way, one other thing in the news and notes here. Brad Sweet picked up the win for the Jason Johnson Classic down at the Lake Ozark Speedway. He picked up the win over Sheldon Honshield, James McFadden, Logan Schuhart, and Carson Macedo. So, all right. So we'll look in here as. Speaking of the World of Outlaws, tomorrow night they'll be at I-55 along with Saturday night. They'll be down there. Saturday here locally, we'll be having the Bridgeport Speedway for the USAC East Coast Sprint Cars open up their season along with the 602 Sportsmen and the Street Stocks. The Lincoln Speedway will have the Gene Latta Ford 410 Sprint Cars along with the 358 Sprint Cars. New Egypt Speedway will be open up their season on Saturday night as well with the Cabin Fever 40 for the Big Block Modifieds along with the Northeast Wingless Sprint Cars and the Great Sportsmen along with the 4-cylinders. Port Royal will be running the Weicker Livestock 410 Sprint Cars with availability Super Late Models and the PA Sprint Series 305s. And then Adam and I will be at the Grandview Speedway coming up this Saturday night for the 4th annual Bruce Rogers Moneymaker for the Big Block, Small Block, Modified 7,500 to win alongside the Sportsmen. Adam, what are we going to be looking for here on Saturday night at Grandview?
To be completely honest, I'd like to see a track regular. No, I'd like to see a track regular take the win, but last year Timmy Buckwalter impressed the hell out of all of us to start the season. I'd like to see him. I think he said he's going to be there. But 7,500 to win opening week of the season, there's going to be some serious competition rolling in, especially kudos to the Rogers family I teamed on a couple weeks ago. I think I saw that there is no registration. So that's huge to start the season. Nice. It gives a little incentive to the fans, drivers to go. So hope to see everyone out on the hill on Saturday.
Yes, I agree so, and I believe I'm interested. I would like to see a unusual track regular win. I mean, we all know, Von Doren's going to be a threat. Howard's going to be a threat. Strunk, what's he going to do in his season debut with the Zuby car coming up here on Saturday night? That's going to be interesting to see what Strunk can do. And then you got to look, as you said, Buckwalter.
Cressley's been impressively fast.
Yes. Was Danny Buck? I think he'll probably be there in the 357.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot.
The list goes on.
Of heavy competition. Yeah, I think Goulart.
I'd like to.
He may go up to Orange County. Goulart may go up to Orange County on Saturday night.
That's true. I'd like to see
Waddy. He could be
guy
one.
Who definitely he's been. Yeah, Waddy. I'd like to see a guy who's had some absolutely terrible luck there win.
Yes.
Mike Lazowski.
Yes.
He has had some shit luck the last how many years, but I'd like to see him have a good run. He deserves it out of anyone, his family, a bunch of great people. Yes. Skook proud right there.
Skook County bot. We'll have to have, if he wins, he's automatically on the show next week. I mean, we got to have that Skook County flavor finally come on this show somehow, some way.
We'll see what we can do. He's usually pretty quiet.
We've had so many people that can be quiet on this show. We open them up. Damn well we'll be able to open them up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been down to Grandview for a Saturday night show in a couple of years. I am looking forward to getting back on the hill in Betchelsville coming up here this Saturday night.
Shame
and then
on
Tuesday night, I've been busy, okay? God. Anyway.
Sorry, busy.
Sorry.
Anyway, we got to wrap this shit up. Chris is getting antsy.
One more show we got to preview. Tuesday night down at the Bridgeport Speedway, the invasion of the posse, the debut of the 410 sprint cars on the brand new track for a great purse, by the way. Have you seen the purse that they put out at Bridgeport? $5,000 to win, $400 to start, with the Foley Cat Big Block Modifieds down there as well. But it is a great purse for a Tuesday night at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have work. I would definitely go.
Well,
but
I'm there, so.
Before we get out of here, something that's near and dear to a lot of us, it's now officially April, which means we are in Organ Donation Awareness Month. So I don't know if you are, Bert. If you're not an organ donor, just think about it. Just think about it. You never know whose life you can end up saving. God forbid something ever happens to one of us. So,
yeah, I'm proud to say I'm an organ donor, and yes, I'm glad to be part of this, and definitely we'll have to have Tim Clausen on at some point here with Driven Save Lives and all that. By the way, I want to go back to this Bridgepoint point here. 5,000 to win, 1,000 for 10th, and 400 take the green. That's pretty damn good for a 410 show in Jersey to start off the in early April on Tuesday night. I like that. By the way, Driven Save Lives SaveLives.org with all the information on there. All right. Chris, what do we got coming up on the National Racing Network coming up here tonight and the rest of the week?
Tonight we have PM18 Pro Mazdas, the Indy Pro 2000 series from Iowa Speedway. That one's going to be a pack race of Indy cars, which is going to be pretty insane. Monday night we have the Silver Crown cars. That race season has been fantastic for 3 weeks. No doubt that's not going to change. Tuesday night, the Pavement Sprint Cars 410s. We'll announce it here on the show. We're going to be putting up a race early in May, minimum $100 to win on iRacing, a little 500-esque race.
33
Let's
sprint cars
go.
at Southern National since they don't have Anderson. 11 rows of 3 in cars that you can't drive straight on iRacing. One more shout out I want to give, and I have to find them here real quick. But we had a legally blind iRacer pick up his first feature win this week.
Enlighten me a little bit on this.
Okay.
There has to be one hell of a spotter.
Well, it's funny that you say it that way. He's on Twitch, and his community talks him through the race. He has people in his Discord that are literally telling him everything that's going on. And one person is giving him the direction of where he is on the track. He basically has to memorize every track he drives. And then he's being told in his ear where other people are, what cars are coming, what the strategy options are, what all the different stuff. But it's pretty cool. The guy got his first win driving an MX-5. It's a rookie class car. But it's not all that far off from community helping those that need a little bit of help, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So we'll share the link
even
up
on
to
a
the
road
page
course
there.
too. With the MX-5, that's on a road course.
Yes.
Holy shit, that is awesome.
Yeah, he came across the line and he's going, "I'm not crying, you're crying," and the guy's just losing it. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Oh God, that's wow. Welcome to 2021, folks. I never thought I'd hear that. But a blind blind iRacer and won an iRacer.
That's cool though. Definitely neat.
And sort of ish, not breaking news, but it was from several hours ago. Port Royal Speedways announced that Miss Motorsports Andrea Kapp will be putting together an Easter egg scavenger hunt for the kids and the adults.
Good.
So,
I saw that.
Cool.
I saw they're gonna be handing like golden eggs around. I thought I might go up there. I was thinking about going up there, get some golden eggs, win some prizes, piss some people off. But you know what? Yeah, Ryan, you can't win shit on there. So I love you, buddy, but you can't win shit on iRacing. Just saying. But anyway, yeah, that'll be fun. And then I also saw that they did move their start time up to 4 p.m. now on Saturday. So a little bit interesting because I don't know if they're calling for weather or something like that on Saturday or the temps, but I did see that they did move their start time up to 4 p.m. So all right, Chris, is that it for you? And then Adam, anything else out of your mouth tonight?
No, I'm good. I mean, I didn't hear about the last 45 seconds of whatever you said because for whatever reason my internet's going full potato tonight, so we'll just pretend like I didn't hear it. Yeah, how about it? But I don't know. I'm ready to get out of here if you are.
I am too. So, all right, folks, that'll do it for this. Another fantastic edition of the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. Once again, thanks to all of you guys for watching tonight. We cannot be doing this show without you guys. You guys are some of the best fans in the world. We love you guys tune in, all the comments we've been getting on the new show. And we just love to hear all the great feedback y'all been giving us. And keep continuing to give us. We'll try and make the show as best as we possibly can as we keep going forward throughout the season here. Once again, don't forget to follow National Racing Network on all the social media platforms, whether it's right here on Facebook. Give us a like, send some stars our way too. Also, don't forget on Twitter at National or NRNTV. You can follow us on Twitter at Highside_Hustle. You can follow me on Twitter at Bert Wojcik. And Adam?
At Rubright22 on Instagram and Twitter. And I just plain old Adam Rubright on Facebook. That's all I got.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Bert_Wojo on there as well. Don't forget to follow National Racing Network. Also, we're on Twitch, I believe, too. And then we also have a Patreon, too, as well. National Racing Network, Patreon.com/National Racing Network. So, all right, boys, let's get the hell out of here. We had another great edition of the Highside Hustle. Once again, thanks to our guests tonight, Justin Peck and Ryan Smith. We both enjoyed you guys having you on. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Again, folks, we couldn't do the show without you guys. So for Adam Rubright, executive producer Chris Graham, my name is Bert Wojcik. Keep on hustling, folks. We will see you guys next week right here on the Highside Hustle.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.